A lightweight bout here. Jared Gordon coming back after the headbutt from King. Now, not Bobby Green. King. Minus 175 for Gordon. Plus 175 for Jim Miller coming back after the nasty eye poke. So both guys coming back after some nasty outings last time. Over under 2.5 rounds. Minus 115 for the over. Plus 115 for the under. It's a good fight here, I got to say. Both guys are gritty. Both guys are durable, and both guys are always down to throw. So Jared Gordon, like you said earlier, I mean, it seems like he's getting better. And the Paddy Pimblett fight, obviously, everyone thinks he wins, or everyone thinks he won, including myself. And then in the first round against Bobby Green, he was looking pretty good. But Bobby Green, somewhat of a slow starter, I would say that. He was outstriking him, but he looked solid. Like, there's not many people that can keep up with the volume of Bobby Green. And Jared Gordon looked like he was doing it. Ultimately ended with the headbutt, which was unfortunate. And then Jim Miller had a tough one in his last time out. I mean, he got the brakes kind of beat off of him. I wouldn't say, like, it was a terrible performance. Like, he showed it at his age, I would say. Like, still very durable, but looked a little bit slow. And against Alexander Hernandez, who paced himself more of that fight, it looked like he took a lot of damage in that one. I'm surprised he's coming back this soon, especially after what happened to his eye. So that's a little concerning, I got to say. This one's it's a greasy one, considering all the circumstances that I just gave out. So I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, it is. I mean, Jim Miller, love the dude as a fighter. Him being older now is like, there's going to be a point where he slows down, or he can't take the big shots anymore. The cardio fails him, being as old as he is and that many miles on his career. And Jared Gordon, I mean, obviously should have beat Paddy Pimblett. No contest to Bobby Green. That submission loss to Grant Dawson. So, I mean, it kind of tells you he can be subbed on the ground, and Jim Miller's obviously dangerous as all can be when the fights get there. But other than that, like, Jared Gordon hasn't looked phenomenal, but he hasn't looked bad necessarily either since the Charles Oliveira knockout, which was, going on 4 years ago now. So I don't know, man. It's hard to get a read on this. It's like, is Jim Miller going to come in there and still hold up after everything? I mean, he just had a war with Alexander Hernandez where he took a lot of big shots in that fight. And I mean, that was just in February. It's not like that was 6 months, a year ago. It wasn't that long ago. But at the same time, after getting beat up like that for a couple rounds and taking those big shots, he nearly finished Hernandez when the time was running out. Had his back, had him in a dangerous situation. Didn't quite have the angle on the rear naked choke, but was close to it. And Hernandez is an athletic, younger guy, powerful, fast, everything. And Jim Miller hung around with him. So, yeah, man, I want to take a bite at Jim Miller so bad. I do, but I don't know if I can here. Jared Gordon, just being able to compete with Paddy, should have beat Paddy. And I'm not saying Paddy's a world beater, but he is an up and coming stud. All the hype around him, everybody showed up to watch him fight in their fight, and Jared Gordon rise to the occasion and arguably won. Bobby Green, that thing ended unfortunately in the first round. I think that fight was just getting started, but he was able to touch Bobby Green up in that fight, which isn't, it's not as hard to do now that Bobby's a little older and the head movement's not as fast. But a lot of people have struggled to hit Bobby Green. He was able to. He landed some good shots. So yeah, man, it almost feels like a pick'em fight in this one. But plus 175, Jim Miller, like, if you're betting, like, that's pretty tempting in my opinion for a guy who's dangerous. You're fighting a guy in Jared Gordon who's been sub before in the last couple of years. So yeah, it makes it really interesting. For the pick, I think Jared Gordon gets it done. I think we could see somewhat of a war here, a pretty good back and forth between the grappling and the striking. Yeah, I'm gonna pick Jared Gordon, but probably not gonna bet minus 175 on him.
Yeah, I just super concerned about the turnaround from the headbutt. I mean, it'll be like just a little over a month. That was April 22nd, and this fight's gonna be June 3rd. So I mean, that's what, 6 weeks. And after that, he was saying that he was giving out all the injuries that he had going into that fight, and then he comes out with it with the headbutt and has like a concussion. How much has he really been able to train with that? He's stepping in here for Ludovic Klein, I believe, because that's who Gene Miller was supposed to be fighting. So he's not really taking it with a full camp. I don't know. I mean, it's just a lot of stuff going against him in this spot. I'm
Yeah.
surprised he's even taking it, to be honest. But if it was like, if you take everything out of it, I think Jared Gordon wins this. But all that stuff that he's just throwing on him, I don't really like him, at chalk. So I'll take it for the pick, but very concerned about everything that's going on there.